Hi everyone, my name is Claire Brown and I am a lawyer from Victim Advocates International. We are a membership organisation for victims of serious international crimes, so crimes against humanity, war crimes and genocide. And I am presenting today with Sayadullah, who is from the Rohingya Student Network, a student and youth group based in Cox's Bazar refugee camp in Bangladesh, and he is a leader of a movement of Rohingya who are trying to hold Facebook accountable. And the fact that they are doing that is really incredible. If you think about the position these young men and women are in, they have had to witness the unthinkable happening to their community. They have watched as hatred has spread against them and their people. And as online posts have cropped up all over Facebook, encouraging people to commit real world violence against them. In 2017, thousands of Rohingya, people's parents, children, siblings, best friends, were murdered, raped, and had their homes and villages burnt to the ground. 750,000 Rohingya fled from Myanmar, where these things were happening, into neighbouring Bangladesh. And from there, in a refugee camp, they had to watch as Facebook continued to make money from the same business model. They profited from their activities in Myanmar in 2017, and they remain to this day the biggest social media company on earth. The power imbalance between this enormous corporation and Sayadullah and the other Rohingya in the camp is extreme. But when we started talking to a group of them over a year ago now about submitting a complaint to the OECD complaints mechanism about Facebook, they weren't going to let that stop them. I'll let Sayadullah tell it from his perspective.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here. My introduction is already on table, so now let me start explaining why we are taking this case against Facebook. To do so, let me briefly share who are we now, and how did we reach here. Actually, Rohingya peoples we are living in Myanmar peacefully with all other ethnic groups living there. That means we also had a good time. We also enjoyed the right to life, our peace in Myanmar, especially in our state. But now we are suffering a life like hell here in refugee camp. There are lots of reasons behind this change. The Facebook is also among those reasons. I mean, the Facebook is also one reason among all those. It's because the Facebook contributed its business in the human rights violation suffered by us, suffered by the Rohingya people in Myanmar. The extremist politician, the narrow-minded people posted hate speeches on Facebook, and that reached to the whole nation, and all the people in Myanmar saw those posts, and their mind changed step by step by those posts. But the Facebook failed to remove those posts uh, from its platform, even though the posts were destroying our value, destroying our image on online. So that the hate against Rohingya people on online changed to offline. When the people saw false news against Rohingya on Facebook, hate speeches against Rohingya on Facebook, their mind changed against Rohingya even in offline line. They started hating us Rohingya people in offline life, in our daily life. Finally, we had left the country, and now we are suffering here a hell life. The business of Facebook badly affected to our life. So now we are standing, we are trying our best level to fight against it, to fight against Facebook. We know we are nothing in front of the Facebook. We can say like the Facebook is a big elephant, and in front of the Facebook we are just some ant. But if there is still justice remained in the world, then we must win. The end must win because we are the victims. Because the end are the victims. When I say we are nothing in front of the Facebook, but the Facebook is also nothing without us if we get hand in hand to go forward in this fight, because the Facebook is making money. The Facebook itself is a big company. Just because of us, they are making money by us. So if we get hand in hand to fight in this issue, then the Facebook will be nothing in front of us, in front of the end. So I still have a hope, even though we are nothing in front of the Facebook, because I believe that one day I can make the Facebook nothing in front of us if the Facebook do not uh, engage with us regarding what it did to us and to many peoples around the world. Now I'm handovering to Clary to explain how we are taking this case according to OECD guidelines. Thank you.
Our clients decided to submit a complaint to the OECD complaints process after more than a year of conversations with Facebook, which included them asking Facebook, a company worth hundreds of billions of dollars, to spend $1 million on educational initiatives that they had developed in the camp. Facebook refused to do this and also refused to enter into more formal negotiations with community leaders. At this point, we decided to file a complaint to the OECD National Contact Point in Ireland. The OECD process allows individuals to submit complaints against businesses that they believe have violated OECD guidelines, which incorporate the UN Guiding Principles for Business and Human Rights. Those principles set down minimum standards for businesses to follow to ensure that they don't contribute to human rights violations. It's not exactly a court, it's more like a mediation process. There are OECD national contact points in all of the OECD countries, and individuals submit their complaints to them. They decide whether the business has in fact violated the OECD guidelines, and if they have, they invite both parties into a conflict resolution process. We submitted our complaint to the National Contact Point in Ireland because Facebook's international headquarters for all of its operations outside North America are in Dublin. At the time of recording this video, we are waiting for Facebook's formal written response to the complaint, but the Irish National Contact Point has been in touch with Sayadullah and the other complainants and assured that they are taking the process very seriously. The clients are asking Facebook for a remedy in the form of support for their educational centres and initiatives in the camp. We hope that the NCP OECD process will be a way of achieving this. But even if it isn't, as Sayadullah says, they're not going to give up.
Since OECD is not a court nor a powerful force, the Facebook might stop negotiating with the process of OECD, but we the complainants are committed not to give up. We will continuously go forward. We will be finding many different ways to make the Facebook hold in account for what it did with us. For now, what we only need from you is standing in solidarity with us in the case of Rohingya and Facebook. Thank you so much.